So in 2012, on March the 6th, I experienced the most terrifying moment in my life that nothing in this world prepared me for, when I died for 23 minutes and paralyzed my neck down and got up and walked out of the hospital. The most terrifying moment in my life, and then I went through a transformation I explained in the last video. Okay, with miracles beyond the mind. And what I found out on the 26th of February 2016, with two biologists, my DNA. That blew my mind away, guys. So far beyond your mindset, you have no idea what it's like to be in my shoes with this kind of DNA and told this. Man, you know, it's so unbelievable to be in my shoes, you have no idea. And it's so far beyond your mindset, you have no idea. I met with the greatest resistance by the majority. They have zero faith in this, and that's the first thing you learn. They have zero faith. Zero faith. They don't believe in you. They don't care about you. Okay? They just keep on going down a little merry way. And I find that astonishing when it's proven that I have the Christ DNA and I can do what Christ can and more, and 130 of us can. In DNA studies done, the most authentic DNA in the world that can do these things. Why would anyone ever want to throw stones? Why wouldn't they want to know? Why wouldn't they have the wow factor? Why wouldn't they be wide open, right, and open-minded with that kind of effect? Why wouldn't they be going, wow, man, I want to know this? Because we teach it. And we have that profound effect, right, with the evidence that we now have 1.3% of the population in this mindset. 1.3%, right? That's over 100 million people that's starting to go into the natural selection in life with the natural order with their own DNA. By going through the window breathing program and recreating the sacred secretion to oxidize their blood with, who's won a Nobel Prize. Okay? And also the book Freedom by Jeremy Griffiths, held by 16,000 top scholars to be the holy grail of understanding your biological system, your biological biosphere, and your biofields, and how to think instinctively and think outside the mind with your natural organic measures to do all the things that I can and Christ can, and every apostle in that bloodline, in that DNA. DNA is clearly the book of life. And it's our ancestors' roots coded in our own DNA, in the 24th chromosome. It's that easy to explain. But people get confused about it. Discovering something like this is beyond the mind. And the mind doesn't understand. That's the point. That's the whole point. Okay? I went home that day. Okay? I was with two officers held at Yonge Hill Detention Centre. We talked about it all the way home. They were there in that room when it happened. And they couldn't stop talking about it. They were so mind blown about this when they heard this story. They were standing there, listening to every word that was said. And we talked about it all the way back to the Yonge Detention Centre. And believe me, I was feeling so high as a kite, you have no idea. I went to sleep that night and slept perfectly. The next morning I got up feeling unbelievable. The best day of my life. And basically, it's been like that ever since, on and off, non-stop. But this was the best day of my life I've ever experienced. Ever in history. And I've gone through a lot of things in my life. I've taken a hell of a lot of drugs when I was young. I've been a junkie. I've had the most high you could imagine. I've gone through a lot of adverse effects. I've been dead 3 times, crossed over and come back as well. And, you know, I brought my wife back to life with 7 peer reports and the most powerful poem in 2003 on my medical file. So I'd already gone through all this. But nothing in the world prepared me for this moment. Beyond the mind. I woke up feeling unbelievable. Right? So positive that all I could feel was pins and needles all over my body. You know what I was feeling? I was feeling a relationship. I was feeling loyalty, honor, respect, moments, inspiration, and encouragement. I was feeling love pouring all over me like I never felt before in my life. And that's the only genuine way to explain this. The genuine way. I felt high as a kite, pins and needles all over my body. I was feeling unbelievable, and it's a beautiful sunny day. Now, this is what happens. Okay, a guy named Fabian getting deported to Argentina. Okay, he lived in Australia for 43 years. He was 46 years old. He had no family ties, and no self-welfare system. He had about a 55 IQ. He was involved in 3 separate armed robberies. His mate always got him into this, and he was very bad. He was an evil person, believe me. But Fabian was easy to entice into this. He was a really good lad. The 3rd time he discharged a firearm in public, he actually discharged firearm in mid-air, but they call it public to make it sound more dangerous. So because he discharged a firearm in public, right, in the 3rd event, he had already served about 8-9 years for each prison term. So he spent the best part of 24 years, 25 years in prison. Okay? And this had been his 3rd time. And he discharged a firearm. So they were deporting him. He couldn't get out of it. He just had a sentence management meeting, and he was being told he was definitely going. There was no way out of this. So he came running into my room, shit scared, terrified, absolutely terrified. He said, "Kim, can you please help me?" Now, you have to listen to this because it's mind-blowing. An orb of light comes in from my room, right? Like a golden light, very dim, just comes straight in at broad daylight at 8:30 in the morning, man. Right? First thing in the morning, right? And I'm feeling fantastic. I don't take drugs, I don't drink. I've got no mental disorders, no DNA defects. So I've got the most perfect DNA and also a very powerful bill of health from my medical condition. I brought the cure of the human condition humanity with the most authentic DNA. I do not suffer with any mental disorders and any DNA defects. That's what you have to understand about this moment. The orb of light comes in, right? And in a moment, in a heartbeat, I'm possessed again like when I died, right? Possessed again, exactly the same way. I had no control of my body, but this time I didn't get pushed out of my body. No, the orbs of light come straight behind me, right? Just went straight behind me, and it was like it controlled me with a relationship. And Fabian, he's like this, he's like, wow, right? He's looking back, and then I put my hand on his shoulder, okay, and I was not responsible for what happened. I had no control. I said, "Fabian, don't worry, son, you're going home to your mum." Do you know he went home? Argentina wouldn't give him a passport. They wouldn't take him back. They said Australia had to deal with him. He went home to his mum. There was no out of this, but he went home to his mum. That miracle can be confirmed. He lives in Sydney. He's home with his mum. That was only in 2017 he went home. In January 2007, in the end of December 2016 he went home. That's astonishing. Now, what happens here is something that's really powerful. I told you how to revise my perception about anything to come to learn in life. Well, when the boogeyman came in to see me on a nightly basis and it was a dark shadow, he always used to stare at me with his beady eyes because my imagination didn't run wild. And you can't talk about this to your parents because they say you're crazy, you're having a dream. So you can't talk about it to anyone. But I'll tell you what, when he came in on a nightly basis and scared me like this, and my imagination did not run wild, as I told you about in my early videos, here's something astonishing. An orb of light came into my room, right, when I was only about 5 years old, right? Okay, an orb of light came into my room the same way and the same relationship. In a heartbeat, I felt the relationship and I felt like I had no fear whatsoever and I felt like someone was protecting me. And I knew who it was, but I don't know how. I was only a child. But the boogeyman was still there in my room. That scared the living shit out of me. Terrified the living shit out of me. And in a heartbeat, it was gone. Fabian was shit scared. Shit scared. And in a heartbeat, he was like this. Oh, wow, man. Oh, wow, man. Oh, wow, man. Don't tell anyone, Kim. No one will ever believe it. No one will ever believe it. And he ran out. And he wasn't in any fear whatsoever. In fact, it was taken away from him. And he went home to his mum. That miracle was created. That miracle was genuine. And he didn't fear. Just like I didn't fear when the orb of light comes to me when I was a child. And this is the most astonishing moment in my life. The most unbelievable day of my life. Now, on this day, I write 3 official letters to the government, border security and the government immigration. I write, if you unlawfully deport me, God's going to send me through the toughest facial recognition and security system in the world. And guess what, guys? He does. Stay tuned to the next video. You got to listen to this one.